We phoned the ambulance because I thought Hannelie's going to die.
Mortality was inevitable from her condition.
Couldn't walk properly, couldn't bathe myself.
There was that light in the tunnel. I thought, okay, maybe we can fix this.
We had a dramatic reduction in her tricuspid regurgitation.
I'm feeling great.
I don't think we could have hoped for a better outcome.
From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You brought my wife back.
Hello, this is Michael George of Sages Healthcare Consulting, and this is a new episode of the Pioneering Patient Podcast. This time we're kindly supported by Coramaze. Now we're in Bloemfontein, South Africa, at the home of our guest today. And 2 years ago, her health was in a desperate state. Her husband and doctors feared that she might be coming to the end of her life. But remarkably, we're here today and she's in a really good state. Now, we bring these great patient stories to you because you view us, and it's also helpful if you subscribe, so please hit the subscribe button. Now, back to our guest. By the age of 39, she'd had 3 strokes and a mitral valve replacement, but her health continued to go downhill. Now she had torrential tricuspid regurgitation. Now, this is an awful leaky valve problem where the blood flows back to the organs of the heart. When it's severe, which it certainly was for our patient today, 50% of patients will die within 3 years, and 90% of patients never get a treatment. But fortunately, almost miraculously, as they'll describe it, she had the chance to join in a first-in-human study of a new device that could help to repair that valve. And now, happily, we're here today to tell that story. So I'd like to welcome now Hannelie Redelinghuys and your husband Ernst. It's great to be here. Thank you for welcoming us into your home.
Thank you.
And I ought to say that after 3 strokes, you recovered very well, but it's affected your hearing and your speech. So we'll take your time and answer as you can in your own time. So it's lovely to have you here. Now, you've been together well over 2 decades, so I'd like to know more about how you first met. I understand it was an accidental meeting over coffee. Was the coffee good, but the company was even better?
Yes.
I mean, you can say something like that. Yeah, it's about 21, 22 years back. I was single at that stage. Friends told me, I must meet Hannelie, we must go for a coffee, and coffee turned into something wonderful. But yes, that's how we met, by accident.
By accident.
Yeah, it's a long road.
And what's your first memory of meeting Ernst?
I was really shy. So I tried it. I just tried to be kind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And Ernst, what was your first memory of Hannelie?
First impressions was, what am I going to do with this little girl? I wasn't biking at that stage, so she was a very gentle lady, not quite the type of person I was hanging with. But yeah, she turned me around and I'm becoming a gentle giant.
And life moved on, and you got married and you have a daughter?
Yes, we have a daughter. She's turning 21 this year. Lovely child.
Yeah.
The life of Hannelie. A lot like Hannelie. Also outgoing person.
And life for you in those years, you got married, you were having a great time, you had a job you loved. Tell me more about all the things you enjoyed and loved over that period.
We like to do family things together. Together with Kayla, we also went to parks and camping and things like that.
Hannelie loved fishing and outdoors, so we loved to went for camping, hiking, wild. It was that was the life. And then I started a business. A little bit more time at work and less at home. So Hannelie, I won't say we get apart at that stage, but you know, when you start your own business, it's a little bit difficult to balance home and how work together. So yeah, so we didn't go out as much as we supposed to. But then,
Hannelie, you were working as well. You loved it.
Yes.
You loved people. I understand.
Yes, I also love people and working, but at the moment I'm not working because of the strokes that I had.
Yeah. But at the time you were working, you were a salesperson, so you loved
Yes.
talking with people. It was
Yes, too much.
Yeah. Excellent. And then now your condition is due to rheumatic heart disease, which comes from rheumatic fever as a child. So do you have any memory of having rheumatic fever?
No, not really, because I was so small when it happened that I think only my mom told me about it a few years back when we first heard about the condition.
So you had never told or aware that it might lead to rheumatic heart disease?
No.
No. And so things came on very suddenly. I think you don't think you had any symptoms. Were there any symptoms, do you think, that signs that something could be going wrong? I think this was now at the age of 37, was it?
yes.
Yes.
The only sign we saw or thought it was a sign at the time she had a stroke is we were driving home one night and Hannelie was driving the car and she told me her leg is dead. She can't feel the pedals. And I thought, no, but what's wrong now? And I told her to pull off the road and I took over and we drive home. But we didn't think a lot about it. And I think it was about a month after that she had a stroke. And then it was the only time we realized that was the first symptom. But before that, nothing. There was no signs that she was sick or there's something wrong with the heart or any pains or anything like that.
So what's your memory of the day when she had that stroke? She was only 37, which is...
Yeah, the first stroke she had at work. She was physical at work and they phoned me and told her, listen, Hannelie collapsed at work. I must go to the hospital and everything. I thought, no, what's wrong? Did she faint or something like that? And when I got at the hospital and she said, the doctors told us she had a stroke, it was quite a shock. I mean, Hannelie is 37. People at 37 don't get strokes. It was new to me. So she was in hospital at that stage and doctors told me all the symptoms and your mind is racing.
Yeah. What were you thinking at that time?
I was very shocked and how can I say, disbelieved.
Yeah.
And also heartbroken because my mind told me that I'm healthy. No, my heart told me something else.
And so after this, doctors explained to you why you had that stroke.
Yes.
And why was that?
Because of the mitral valve had a build-up of clots in my... I had to do a repair of the valve or
Replacement?
replacement, yes.
In other words, the valve didn't shut properly, so there was a leakage. The leakage started cloths, and when a cloth gets loose, it goes into a stroke. So that's what they explained to us in normal people's language, but anyway. First they explained that to us, and then they told us that there must be an operation. They're going to replace the valve. So Hannelie must go for open heart surgery. It was a difficult one. Open heart surgery in 37, you don't know what to expect. And it was something Hannelie thought about, and in the beginning she thought, no, she mustn't do the operation, but at the end we did the operation.
Yes.
And during this period, what made it harder, certainly for the first stroke, was this was COVID. So that was tough for you, wasn't it?
It was very tough because COVID regulations said you can't go visit nobody in hospital. And
Yes.
she went into hospital and you were sitting at home and wondering what's happening now. Is she all right? Is she not all right? And then you start doing things to make sure. So I was working in a butchery, so we had permits to drive at night. So I went to hospital, then you phone her and she picks up the phone, stand in the window, and you just greet just to make sure she's still fine, because you can't get to her, you can't go into the hospital. So we were speaking on the phone and she was standing in the window, and every time you drive away there you think, please just be all right. And my daughter was final year in matric, in school, so she can't even visit her mom. She must study, and you don't even know if it's going good, it's not going good, what's going on. So it was very hard on her as well.
And the recovery from that mitral valve surgery, what was that like?
A long time to recover.
Painful.
Painful, yes.
It's a very painful recovery. They even told us to get special bed for her to lie down and sit, to get up and stuff like that. It's a long and painful recovery. I mean, for 2-3 months, you could see she struggled to pick something up, to do something, help her with washing, help her with everything. She can't tie her own laces. It was a very painful time. And at that stage, she can do nothing for herself, actually. Even afterwards, when it was healed, she can still feel the pain inside the chest. So it's a long and difficult road from the operation until she was healed, actually. And then a year after the operation, it happened again.
You're saying in May 21 you had your first stroke.
Yes.
I think it was September, October 2021 you had the surgery.
Yes.
Yes.
And then May
again.
2022. So tell me what happened, the second stroke.
The second stroke, I also I was at the home, and I could feel that I'm not feeling well. So Ernst took me to the hospital, and they confirmed that I had a second stroke, and that one was worse than the first one, because it affected my hearing and my speech very much. Yes, and I'm not sure if that it was because of the casket valve that wasn't fine, or was it from something else? But yeah.
Yeah, like the second stroke, Hannelie was still speaking to me, and the next moment, it's as if she just cut off. She just stared at you. And right away I saw there's something wrong, and I speak to her and she doesn't speak. And you know the first stroke was there, so you already start worrying what's happening now. So I took her to the car and we took her to the hospital right away. And when we got there, they said it's a stroke, and I thought, no, it can't be another stroke. It's impossible. She went for operation, they fixed the thing. And then when they started doing the test and everything, they came back to me and said, listen, but there's another leak. And I said, what do you mean another leak? I said, the other valve is also not right. And I thought, no, how can it be one person, 2 leaking valves? It's almost impossible. So you start worrying. Must it be another operation? Is it the painful part again? Or what's going to happen? So you're worrying a lot while she was in hospital. But also you must stay strong, because you must keep her positive. But luckily Hannelie is like a pit bull on steroids. She'll never give up. She will always fight to come back.
Because at this stage she's got tricuspid regurgitation, which we'll find out, we know is a horrible disease. She's had 2 strokes. What are you thinking at this stage? Is anyone offering any hope?
No, nothing. And you're stressed. You don't know what's going to happen. The future looks dark,
Bleak.
Something, it's terrible. It's very, very terrible. Especially, like I said, her age. if you got 2 strokes in less than 2 years, what's going to happen next? So we were very worried, and we went to the doctors and everything, and did everything they said we must do. Medication and everything, and still, you don't know what's going to happen.
So we're now late 2022, early 2023. Just when you think things get any worse, in February 2023, what happens?
I have a third stroke.
Third stroke, that was a terrible one. I thought it's the worst one because why? Hannelie, I don't say she would collapse, she just shut down. And I was struggling to get her up, and I was struggling to get into the car, and at that stage, nothing was working. Her whole body just shut down. She couldn't walk, she couldn't speak, everything. And I was hopeless because I couldn't get her into the car. You know, you must take her to the hospital. You know there was 2 strokes, but you can't get into the car, and you know you're on borrowed time. Because when you have a stroke, you only had a certain time before you must get the injection for the blood thinners to work and no permanent damage. And I couldn't get in the car. And you feel so hopeless. You think she's going to die. And we found the ambulance, and like I said, we're South Africa, so it's not the fastest people around, but anyways. The ambulance came here. And
far from the hospital.
we're far from the hospital. By the time they got here, you were broken, because I thought Hanlie's going to die at that stage. She went to hospital, and they gave her the injection for the thinners to work and everything. And I think it was an hour and a half after that. And Hannelie was struggling to speak to us, but you see the life coming back into her eyes. And she was starting making jokes. And I thought, is it real? So she tried to communicate and tried to keep me calm, because I think she could have seen the worries on my eyes and everything. And you don't know if you want to talk to the doctor, because you don't believe them anymore. And the doctor come and explained to me, oh, this is what happened, and she had a stroke again. And I think, oh, are we going to start all over again? It's rehab again, it's hospitals again, and you feel hopeless. You don't want to go through it again.
And what were you thinking? Do you have much memory of this even?
Not too much, but at that stage, I was already in touch with the hospital in Johannesburg to get the procedure done at my valve.
And this stage, what was your life? What was the quality of life? What could you or couldn't you do at this stage in you?
Couldn't walk properly, couldn't bathe myself, couldn't, was too much.
Even to walk to the bathroom was tiring for her. She was struggling to walk to bathroom, struggling to walk to kitchen, go to the garden. She was struggling. You could see she was very, very tired every time she would get up from bed, and you don't want a person to lie in the bed all day and deteriorate. So it was difficult. It was very difficult.
And what were you feeling at this stage?
Depressed, stressed, not knowing what lies before me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And seeing the lady you love in this condition, what was this like for you?
It's heartbreaking. You know where you come from. We were outgoing people. We like doing outdoors things and fishing and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, you can do nothing. You can't go out. You can't do nothing, and it's very, very, very hard. I mean, I even gave up on my business, start working at the company again just to get more time to spend with her, because you don't know how much time you still have. So I try to spend as much possible time at home to make sure I get some time in with Hannelie, because I didn't know if she's going to make it. You really think she's the worst. You're waiting for that moment they said, no, it's the end. So it was terrible. And when we start speaking to the doctors in Johannesburg, there was that light in the tunnel. I thought, okay, maybe we can fix this.
At this stage, let's take a look, because just earlier we saw Professor Hellig, and he talked about Hannelie when he met Hannelie and what her condition was like. So let's quickly just show you that clip and you can see what he said.
Okay.
Without a therapy for her tricuspid valve, Hannelie would have continued to deteriorate, and I can't say when she would have died, but mortality was inevitable from her condition.
What's that make you feel? What do you think about that?
It's difficult to explain what you think about it, because you know in your mind it's right. You see how she goes further and further away, because her health was just deteriorating. Yeah, it's to know the doctor knew it, but at that stage they didn't tell us anything. They just said, yeah, they must fix it, otherwise. He knew she was going, and in my heart I also knew it. So yeah, it's.
But at least you had this hope, because you went to the hospital in Johannesburg. You were told this opportunity to have a treatment, a procedure. What was your immediate reaction? Because you weren't sure about whether it's surgery or what was explained to you?
The first time when they spoke to us, we thought it's another open heart surgery like the previous one, and Hannelie told me, she's not going through it again. And the more you speak about it, and the more she thinks about it, and said, but she's not going through the same type of operation again like the last time. And they start explaining how the operation is going to work. That light is getting brighter and brighter, because yes, it's a chance. You don't know if it's going to work, but it's a better chance than nothing. And Hannelie just told me, we're going for it. And I said, okay, let's do it then.
I told them that if it wasn't as supposed to be, it wouldn't be coming to us.
Yeah, it was fate that it was the right thing for you.
Yes.
That's true.
Right thing for you, yeah. And what's your memory of going up there? There's now hope for you. There's now hope for you. And tell us about that time. You went up to the hospital, you're about to have the procedure. What was the feeling like at that time?
We were stressed in the beginning. Is it going to work? Is it not going to work? I know she couldn't take another stroke. I know it in my heart. So we went up for the operation, and I booked off for 2 weeks, because I know operation is a long thing and she must recover before we can come back to Bloemfontein and everything. So they take her up, and she was in hospital for, I think, for a day, and they did the operation and they let me know, yeah, you can come and fetch your wife. And I thought, no, that's not true. How's it possible?
This was to you was a really miraculous, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What did they say to you?
They said I can go home. and the procedure was a 6.
Yeah, like
Yes.
I came to the hospital to come and fetch Hannelie, and I know the first operation we used a wheelchair. Sorry, we used a wheelchair to take her to the car, and she couldn't walk properly, and she had sore and everything. And this operation, she came to the door and said, "I will walk to the car." And I thought, is it possible? So Hannelie walked to the car and get into the car, and we drove off to where we stayed at that stage. And she said, yeah, I don't feel it.
I don't feel pain.
There's no pain. And I thought, no, did you have the operation? Are you sure they did something? They didn't do just tests and you must still go back for the operation. She said, no, they said the procedure was successful. And it was all in your mind, okay, we will see what happens, because I wasn't sure if it's true. And like I said, it's a miracle. I don't think there's something else I can explain about it, but it's a miracle.
What do you say about that, Hannelie?
I think also it is a miracle, and it went so well. I can be only thankful.
Yeah, and in the past, the recovery was months. This recovery was almost hours. So it's not even days. You can see the recovery is, because only the thing that she can walk out of a hospital just after this type of operation, I don't think things like this happens.
And this was rather than the surgery before, this was a minimally invasive transcatheter device that was repairing your tricuspid valve. And let's hear again from Professor Hellig about his memory of that, and what he thought about that, and and he's seen you since, and what he thinks of that.
Yes.
When we saw Hannelie last week, she has undergone an enormous transformation in her life. She, from being functional class 4, which means unable to do anything, she's now functional class 1, which is what normal people's functional status is. So I don't think we could have hoped for a better outcome for this patient.
Amen.
You're very happy.
Yes.
Yeah, and since then till now, Hannelie started doing things again. She loves to go walk in the morning. She loves to bake. She loves to normal stupid things we don't think about every day, but things that she never done when she was sick. Washing dishes. She does it. In the past, she didn't even want to see dishes because she didn't want to stand in front of the sink. But yeah, the small things that we take for granted, Hannelie does again. And I think that alone speaks volumes.
And that recovery has been gradual. I mean, you recovered well straight away, but you've got better and better over a period of time, haven't you? Tell us more about that.
I'm feeling great. Even my breathlessness that I had beforehand, swelling, it's gone. So I'm very grateful.
How do you compare this with your recovery from open heart surgery with this minimally invasive procedure?
It's night and day. It's a huge difference between the two. I mean, if you only speak about the pain factor, open heart surgery it's not for the faint-hearted. Guys that go through open heart surgery, I take my hat off for them. They can go through pain. This one, under recovery, like I said, in hours, out of the hospital, and she can move right away. In the first 2-3 weeks, she did everything that she did normally. With open heart surgery, first 2-3 weeks, she was in the bed the whole time. You must carry everything behind to help with everything. This wasn't the case. I mean, that speaks volumes already. And I don't know how to explain it exactly, because there's a huge difference between the two. A person that goes through an open heart surgery and a person that goes through this, you wouldn't say you had surgery if you go through this. When you have open heart surgery, you will remember it for the rest of your life. Except for the scars you have, this is only a small incision in your neck, so you don't even have scars. So, no, you can't take the two together. No, it's impossible.
Hannelie, what's your feeling on that? Totally different, yeah.
Yes. Two different things. The open heart surgery was the dramatic experience because of all the pain and all the setback of the surgery.
The chances for infection and everything with open heart surgery is great if you don't look after your operate, or what do you call it, incision. Then there's a possibility for infection and everything with this. That small hole they work through, there's no chance you can get infections and stuff like that.
And around the home, I mean, it was just normal again, wasn't it? It's almost like
Yes.
3 or 4 years before. Yeah?
I won't even say
Yes.
normal, it got better. You know, you got, in this 3 years, you get used to Hannelie is a certain way, and now all of a sudden that's the lady you married in the first time. It's totally different. So I can't even start explaining how it works. She'd start doing things that she never would have done in the first time. So yeah,
What are you enjoying doing now?
Walking, taking the dog for walkings, just doing life. Sorry, the normal things the housewife does, cooking, even going shopping. It's better.
like for the first operation, she went into a shell. She didn't want to speak to people. She didn't want to go out. She got stressed very easily. And all of a sudden, after this operation, she started living again. Now she would go out, go to a mall herself, speak more regularly to people and everything like that. And I don't think she would have done it if she didn't have this operation. She was in a shell the first 3 times. So I said first 3 times. I think this is the last 3 times. We're not going to do it again. But yeah, it's night and day.
And as her husband, you've seen what she's gone through. You must be so proud of her.
Very, very proud. She's inspiration for everyone. Just the fact that she never gave up. Never gave up. She fights so hard to get out of the hospital. She fights so hard to get back to work. I think if it wasn't for her speech, she would still have worked. I mean, she loved to work with people. She loved doing things. She was outgoing. And for a person to have 3 strokes and still fight for life, that's amazing. That's a miracle itself. And inspirational for everyone. I mean, you get people that break a leg and then they will stop living because the leg was broken. Hannelie never gave up. Never.
And Ernst, he's been a pillar of strength for you as well.
Yes, too much. Husband, how must I say it? I just love him for it.
Stop it.
And there's other people who are important, who've been important in your life, and those are the doctors, people at Sunninghill Hospital.
Yes.
Have you got a message for them, for Professor Hellig and Varman and the team there?
Yes, we do.
I don't see them as doctors and stuff. I see them as family. Because this is the first doctors or team we went to through the whole thing with Hannelie for 3, 4, 5 years. They got like our family. Varman and the guys, they would phone you afterwards and just to find out how's things going, are you still fine? No other hospital is doing this. So this is a very special team. They're close to my heart. I don't think we will get anything better than these guys that help Hannelie through this thing. They are great people. Professor, he doesn't speak a lot, but if he speaks, you listen. Varman wants to be a brother. They're great. I can't speak no ill of them. It was a great experience just to work with them.
Yes, that's it.
And also there's other people in this story, the people who developed, the engineers who developed this
Yes.
device. So what do you want to say to them?
From our side, they create a miracle. And I still want to know if they're human, but okay. They're great. They're great people. Just to bring life back like this, it's a miracle itself. So this guys, I take my hat off for them. I don't know how to thank them.
Hopefully, they can do it for more people.
Yeah, that's true.
That's very true. Well, we'll really end on that now. But before that, what's the future like for the two of you? Happy, healthy, long life?
A lot of health.
I think Hannelie will go to 95 or 100 or something because she doesn't want to give up. But, yeah, I think a happy life. we're going to enjoy it into full. A little bit lighter than I want to be, but we'll enjoy it full. I think our life is open for us now. It's more normal. We can say it almost like nothing happened, only as normal. So we're taking it day for day and enjoy it.
Hannelie, a final word or two?
Thank you. Thank you for the
Opportunity.
opportunity to speak to you guys. To get out there.
Yeah, I think that's the last thing we can say is thank you. If it wasn't for you guys or whatever, I wouldn't be there. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. You brought my wife back.
Thank you. And that's a good note to end on. As you said it, we hope that many more patients get this chance in the future. So there's hope there in the future because your story has brought that hope to light. Thank you for inviting us into your home. It's been a real pleasure. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
And thank you to all of you for listening to this and watching this edition of the Pioneering Patient podcast. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so. That would be great. And if you have ideas for future editions, please send them to me in the email at the end of the show. And to finish, please remember to take good care of your health.